Hello everybody out there, I'm Chris.
Mike.
And welcome back to another Dark Avenger countdown/review. We don't count the numbers, we just do the review and we put the books in the order that fits our liking, basically.
Yep.
So anyway, in this review we have 7. I have 7, Michael starts I believe at 5.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Mike has 5, I have 7. So, and I also have one digital book to connect to one of my physical books.
I will show on here
when we get to that point. So this week was a pretty good week. There were really great books. One of the books Mike's reviewing, actually, I was going to review originally, but I'm trying to get Mike back into this series, so I decided to let Mike review it, but I will be reviewing it with him. And ironically, it's his number 1, and it also would have been my number 1 or my number 2. So, let's get into the books this week, which were released on
March 18, 2015. And top number 7. Or number 7.
Anyway, without giving numbers again. World's End 24. You guys got to know the weeklies are on my the bottom of my list. This one, it's pretty much the same thing. Everybody's escaping Earth 2. Earth 2 is going down, but it's not going to go down. As one of the characters said, we won't let Apocalypse eat us. We're gonna make him choke on our planet. Basically, you got Big Barda and the Fury. One of the Fury one of the Furies of Apocalypse, surviving, and Barda's like, let's go and we'll go conquer. Now, see, this is where I don't understand, because in Future's End, Barda was good. But by this book, it looks like Barda and this other Fury, they're going to the next world to conquer it, basically. And we find out that Dick can't get on the ship, so he gives his son over to Big Barda, so that she can take care of him and make sure he makes it. You also have Aqua Woman who shows up with her people, and she wants safe passage to the new, at least off Earth. And then the rest of it is just Val and Kara fighting Darkseid, and it looks like the next issue is going to be a big throwdown between the two. We are at issue number 24. I believe we have 2 more issues to go until the end. So World's End, it's just one big fight now till the end of Earth 2. And then it all culminates in, what do you call it, the Convergence. Future's M46, there was a moment in here, and the cover says it all, where, spoiler alert, Terry McGinnis, aka Batman Beyond, dies. He fights the composite Batman Joker, and he's able to stop them, but in the process he dies as well. And we talked about this on Zone 4, and I have to agree with Mike Spider Slayer. It was a lackluster death. You know, it wasn't. I didn't feel it because, to be honest, Future's End, we saw Terry a nice amount, but to be honest, he wasn't in it as much as all the other characters were. So his death kind of, I didn't feel it. You know, they tried to pull that emotional, death, and it didn't. I didn't feel anything. 50 Sue's in here still. There's a bunch of characters that show up. Plastique is there for Terry's death, and it just, in the end, it didn't really do anything. The death, I didn't feel, you don't feel anything, and all Terry made sure that he told Tim to promise that he'll be in the fight, and Tim promised, and that's where the book ends. And apparently in the next issue we get to see Batman Beyond again. I guess Tim is going to take on the Batman Beyond suit. It looks like it's a possibility that Tim might actually become or wear the Batman Beyond uniform. I don't know how, but it looks as though that's a possibility. So, all in all, it was a good issue. It definitely picked up from where it was, but again, only 2 more issues to go, and then we won't be dealing with Future's End anymore. Now we're into the books where Mike starts up. So Mike, you go first.
All right.
Yours is
Silk number 2. I found this book to be a little bit okay.
I didn't get to read Silk yet, so I have no clue what's going on.
What's with these covers? Anyway, so Silk is just basically talks about more of her origin story about how
her past.
Her past really, of how she is a intern by day, superhero by night, or vice versa, and she's basically trying to look about her parents' account and stuff like that due to like who she was looking for, because she's looking for her parents, because, you know, it's been like 10 years since a lot has changed. I'll show you guys some artwork, by the way. And it talks just really about her past with her boyfriend as well. So then we get some robot action of the Hail Hydra robots, and the thing I like about her character is that she like makes it look like that she's going to lose, but then she finds a way of how to get out of it. And then when she finds her Hector, who was his her ex-boyfriend, she finds out that he's engaged to a woman. And then she's not so, you know, about it because of all that, what's going on. And there might be someone out there that's looking to take, well, her name is Cindy, her character, her blood sample because of her technique and being Silk. So there's someone after her, and we don't know who it is, so we're going to find out as the issue continues. So it was an alright book. I guess pick it up if you want to know more about Silk.
And finally, for my weeklies, Batman Eternal issue 50. We're 50 issues in, and we finally find out who's behind the whole thing in this issue.
And who was it?
I'm not shocked because it's a character we've seen already, but at the same time it's like, oh, you really went that route. Okay, let's see where this goes. But,
can I take a guess? Was it the Riddler?
No, it was not the Riddler.
It wasn't?
No.
Who the hell was it?
I'll tell you as we go through. So Batman and the others are fighting all the supervillains. They end up winning. Jim gets out of Blackgate, so does Penguin, unfortunately. Basically, it looks like the world, you know, things are getting, you know, back to normal. We got Pyro who shows up and basically sets Gotham ablaze. So it's up to Batman to stop them, and he finds out the person that's behind everything is near the bat symbol, apparently. You got Gordon saying, you know, we're the GCPD, we gotta, you know, fix everything. Batman shows up, and the person who's behind the whole thing...
Oh.
Yeah, kind of... I mean, it was there, and we all didn't want to see it.
Oh.
I mean, we were making fun of said character a few times, and... We are finally, with issue 50, at the point now where Batman, I'm guessing by next issue, by the beginning of next issue, we're going to be where Batman issue 1 opened up. With Batman chained to the bat signal. And it's going to be up to the next 2 issues, because I looked up, I believe Batman Eternal 52 is a regular priced issue, unless it goes up by $1, and it's $3.99, and it's a couple more pages. I know that... Future's End is going up by $1 because it's a little bit bigger. World's End, I believe, is $4. I don't remember Batman Eternal, so the last issues of all these weeklies, they're going to make sure to grab you for those last issues, and they're going to double size it. So I guess we'll see how Batman Eternal ends. If there is a volume 2, though, I'm 99% sure I will not be getting it. I need a break from weeklies after this, and especially with Convergence, where we're getting everything, and Secret Wars, which we're getting half physical, half digital. I'm sorry, I don't have room in my collection for another weekly series. I'm sorry. And these weeklies really, especially now that we're at the end, if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't have gotten some of them.
A book I haven't seen in a while, Magneto issue number 16. Like, it's been like 2 months since
Is this the last issue? Is this did I miss a book maybe?
I don't know. I mean, from what I see, I mean, probably, but it really just talks about just the past between him and Wolverine, and if you want to find that out, definitely read the book. It's just something that they both did, so to say. So he's just at this camp with, or this new shelter where there are mutants, and there's a whole thing where Magneto gets together with the Briar, so that's really something. Artwork's a little bit sketchy, and like here's some artwork right here. And there's a whole big invasion of where Magneto, you know, has to go see, you know, who it is, because he has a funny feeling of who this might be. And there's been like some murders that's been going on around there. Basically, a human probably who are killing mutants, and we know how Magneto feels about mutants being destroyed. So basically the whole chapter is just finding out, you know, who did it, and then it just keeps going back from the past, which might have connections of who might be behind all this, and there's a little bit of a message for Magneto, and someone might be watching them, and we don't know, but it's...
I know Magneto is one of the books that's ending during Secret Wars.
Yeah, I believe so.
Battle
But
World.
I don't know if I missed an issue or so, but I would give it an average, in my opinion.
Alright, there's this book, and then there's my digital book.
Which I will get to.
All New X-Men 39 Black Vortex. A bunch of stuff happens in this book, and it explains why team-ups happens. Lots of different things, lots of different distress calls happen by the end of this book, and it causes the team to split into 3 different teams. But before that, it opens up with the Guardians and the All New X-Men coming, and again, I love these covers, face to face with Cyclops. Cyclops shows up and with his father to help out, you know, because they know something's wrong. Also, I forgot what his name is, but the son of Thanos actually leaves. He chooses not to help Peter's dad. There's a moment between Jean and Cyclops, and of course Beast has to ruin it because they get to that moment where finally it looks like things are gonna fix up, and there's Beast with like they have a plan, and that's where a bunch of different distress calls happen from a bunch of different people. It turns out Cyclops' dad, Beast, and a few other people go one way. Star-Lord and the others go another, and then you got Cyclops, Iceman, and Groot going a third way. And it turns out that we get to see what happens to Cyclops, Groot, and Iceman. And let's just say things don't look too good for that team. Now, what about the other two? Well, Michael is going to unfortunately have to stand up and talk about that, because the next book I'm going to cover really quickly, connected to this, is Black Vortex Chapter 6, a.k.a. Guardians Team Up Issue Number 3. In this book, we get to see a little bit more of what's going on with the other two teams. Ronin is the team up for here, because this is where Peter and the others end up going to try to get the Black Vortex back. And actually, Ronin looks into the Black Vortex and he is influenced by it. We also get to see the other team a little bit. But in the end, Pete tries to steal the Black Vortex. Everything goes wrong. And the ending leads into the next issue of... I believe it's Guardians of the Galaxy 25, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I'm sorry. It does lead into Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 25, and Nova 28 comes out next week. One thing I really don't like is Guardians of the Galaxy, because apparently it's issue 25, it's $5. Because it's the 25th issue, so we got to double size anything with the number 5 in it. But I'm enjoying Black Vortex. Did I enjoy Team Ups? It was an okay book. Obviously, it continues the story. There are key issues in that book that are obviously pivotal roles for Black Vortex. Do you need the book? Yes. Would I go out of my way to try to get a physical copy of it now? No. I've read it. I understand what happens in it. I'm moving on to Guardians of the Galaxy 25.
The final issue, Trinity of Sin, issue number 6. How does this all end? And, well, it ended, actually, it was a little bit unexpected how it actually ended. It's basically, the Queen and Nimra have both the Question, Phantom Stranger, and Pandora captive, all for the, what's that box called? Redemption box. And they found out that redemption box was a fake because they had it in them all along, and I saw that coming because there was no way that Pandora was going to actually hand to them the redemption box. That would be actually, something else. So they're fighting off against Nimra, and they find the one thing to do, which is to collect the demon entities to fight off against them and to bring everything back to life. This is Nimra, actually, who is in a human form, And she talks a little bit about how she was in her form of that. And of course the Question backstabs them as always. And I'm going to spoil this. Fam Stranger resurrects Dr. 13 because he was supposedly dead. And the Question just goes off and it leaves the end with a question mark. I know that there's not going to be another one because that was a question pun right there. Unless maybe it's not. Who knows? I mean, I would love to see another...
Maybe the big question is, where did the Question go? And we'll find out after.
Maybe, but I would love to see another Pandora, Fam Stranger, or some related to that for future DC books. But it was really good. I liked how it ended. It was unexpected, but it was a good unexpected part of it.
Princess Leia issue number 2. I enjoyed this issue. I love Terry Dotson's artwork. I have to say that first and foremost. So Leia is heading to Naboo because there's a huge cluster of Alderaanians there. We get some flashbacks when she was a child. We get to see a little bit of her relationship with Evan kind of grow. Then she meets up with a friend on Naboo, but I love how Evan's like, I don't know. Oh, and there's a moment where she stares at a picture of the previous, what were they called, queens? The royal queens. And obviously, you know, her mother was one of them. And I love how there's a vision of the mother actually looking at Leia. That was awesome. And I love how the artist actually did. Terry Dotson really got... I forgot what her name was. Oh God, I feel embarrassed now. Who played in Star Wars 1 through 3, episodes 1 through 3?
Can't remember.
Anyway, he got her likeness almost perfect, and she meets this person. Evan doesn't trust him. He has a place for her. It turns out that Evan was right. He was setting her up to get caught by the Empire. Her and Evan end up escaping. They take the Alderaanians with them. She goes back to the guy that backstabbed her, and instead of killing him, she just takes a ship from him instead. He's like, I love you, I hate the Empire, but I love being comfortable more than anything else. So she instead just asks for a ship and doesn't kill him. And they leave. And one of the Alderaanians actually has a sister that she tried to contact on Naboo, but couldn't at the time. She did on the ship as they were escaping. And it turns out, spoiler alert here, her sister is part of the Imperial Army. And she says, just tell me where you are at all times and what the princess has planned. So, a spy is now amongst Princess Leia's refugees. I like this series. I really can't wait for the next issue. Mark Waid is doing an amazing job once again. I am enjoying.
The Punisher, issue number 16. And, I like how the White House are still thinking, in this book that is, that the Punisher, or known as Frank Castle, is dead. We get a little bit of Sammy's background, and she's the girl in prison. I was trying to remember what her name was, and her name was Samantha all along, or Sammy in that case. And they're just saying, you know, about the Punisher, and, well, if they think he's dead, there he is, just doing his thing. You know, just spying on the secretary, or they call him Mr. Secretary, who he kidnaps, and just says, you know, what you're doing to these soldiers with the chemical weapons, I need to know. And he's just telling them that they're going along riots. It's just like a whole big dialogue, and he gets into the Punisher's head, like, really, like, getting to him, like, just like saying, you know, that he's just... Like, everyone's just... Like they made him, like, wanted. Like a vigilante. Like they did with Green Arrow, basically. Doing to him. So he's, like, saying... You know, should I just go to Mexico and just stop killing? Or should I just stay and kill? And it's really hard for him. Where they find him. The helicopters. But they didn't come alone. And I have to spoil this ending. Or should I not?
Well, leave it for next time.
Actually, yeah, I'm going to leave it for next time when I review it for Frontline. He encounters with somebody. And I am not going to tell you who with. But it's making me want to come back for the next issue. And I still am in disbelief that they're canceling that too. This is starting to really... With these books.
This issue of Superman felt a little bit Silver Age-ish. So I enjoyed it this week. John Romita Jr.'s artwork is a whole different story, but I did enjoy the story itself. This is Superman issue number 39. In this issue, Clark has 24 hours without his powers, but he just revealed to Jimmy Olsen that he's Superman. And Jimmy has a hard time believing Clark because Clark doesn't have his powers, and he's explaining to Jimmy why, he doesn't have his powers, and Jimmy's like, yeah, okay, right, oh, that's right, you're best friends with Batman, he's the one that told you. A kid falls out of a tree, Clark saves her, or him, I believe it's a her, and it turns out that he gets cut, and Jimmy's still kind of second-guessing Clark. There was a great Daily Planet moment, I'm not going to spoil that, but it turns out there's a guy holding a hostage at gunpoint. Clark shows up as Superman without powers, and the dialogue that he has between the man with the gun and the hostage, it was amazing. It was really amazing, and just because he's Superman, he's able to talk the guy down and, get him to surrender without killing him or the hostage. And then he's worried because he can't escape now. He has no superpowers, and Jimmy's like, dude, I think you're not going to have a problem escaping. He's like, why? He's like, you're flying. And I don't get what the new costume is. I really don't see much new other than the boots. So either John Romita Jr.'s artwork just isn't showing enough of the new. I mean, the cape a little bit too, I see, is a little bit like it's more like the Injustice Superman's cape. But other than that, the cape and the boots are the only things I see. And then we get a little bit more about this mystery guy, this Mr. Oz. It was a really good book, looking over the artwork, and now Jimmy obviously believes Clark's Superman. So I like the whole angle of Jimmy knowing Clark's secret. It definitely, I'm hoping that this will lead into Lois. I like how his supporting cast is coming back. Lois, Jimmy, Perry. Definitely hope that they move forward with this in the coming months. Obviously, with Convergence and the big changes coming to Superman, I don't know if that's going to happen, but there's always hope for after whatever the story arc is with Mr. Buzzcut. Alright. This book, I got to agree with Michael, it would have been tied for #1 for me also, so.
The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 16.1. This was action-packed, amazing book.
And I love the artwork. The artwork is spectacular in this book. And I love the characterization for Pete. It was perfect. And it involves DeWolf. I forgot him.
Tombstone?
It involves Tombstone, but Jean DeWolf is the woman.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember. Yuri. That's her name.
Yuri?
Yeah, Yuri. See? That's her name.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but anyway.
Maybe I said the wrong last name. It's okay, keep going.
Yeah, so Spider-Man, he's just, going to fight along with Tombstone and brings him into justice.
Turns out Tombstone killed her partner, and now she wants justice.
Yeah, and then in the custody, they actually let him go and didn't prove him guilty. Because, like he's in a coma and everything. And she actually goes there, and Peter Parker actually is feeling terrible for her partner, who, spoiler, winds up passing away. She actually...
Mr. Negative.
Yeah, Mr. Negative. I remember him being in Longshot's book. I was very surprised that Mr. Negative showed up and...
Well, he wants to take over Tombstone's stuff, so what he wants to do is have Tombstone put away.
Right, and he had evidence about what the judge and Tombstone were doing to make that... to make him guilty more than not guilty, and then we see her...
team up with Spidey.
Yeah, as Wrath. If I said that right.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and they team up really well together, but she's more, killing, and then Spider-Man's like saying, we don't kill, that's not the point.
She's more into putting Tombstone away than more revenge than anything else.
And he's like saying, you're a cop, and then she says, I am a cop, but I'm the Wrath as of now. And, the choice that she's making, of how to put Tombstone away, I agree with Spidey.
And Spider-Man's worried, that she's making a very bad choice. Mm-hmm.
So choices, she's gonna probably find out the hard way. But this was my book of the week, definitely, for for that pile.
And my top book of the week has to go to Batman Superman issue 20. It was revealed that Phantom King was behind it all, and he brainwashed all of Kandor to believe that Clark and the House of L are evil, that it's Jor-El's fault, that Krypton exploded, that Clark was harassing and hurting Kandor. So it's a huge fight between Clark, Kara, and Clark's two aunts and Kara's best friend. Batman shows up to try to help out a bit with a red sun wand to kind of deplete their powers. However, the Phantom King breaks the glass in the Bottled City of Kandor, giving everybody superpowers. Clark and Kara have to make the difficult decision of taking their family and friend down to save the rest of Kandor. And then, spoiler alert here, it actually is Lois and Ray Palmer, aka the soon-to-be Atom, that actually end up finding a method to sending Phantom King back to the Phantom Zone. And then in the end, it's not really a victory as much as it is, you know, the, how did Batman put it, the, you take what you can get. It's not really a win or a loss, it's how you deal with what happened, the aftermath of what's happened. And you have Clark kind of second-guessing himself, and one of the people he failed to save because Phantom King got to her first actually ends up saying, you know what? We're all stronger than we think, even you. And I love how the ending has Phantom King actually going in the Phantom Zone, even me, and he has the pictures of all of Batman and Superman's arch rivals. So we might actually be seeing Phantom King again, and I like that. This book's artwork was excellent. Story was action-packed. I loved it. For a long time, Batman Superman was not even on my buy pile. Not only because of the artwork, but because of the stories as well. It's picked up a lot with this story arc, and I hope that the creative team on this book continues forward. Greg Pak did an awesome story here. I hope we continue full steam ahead, and Batman Superman still remains awesome after, of course, the fact of Convergence. I believe there's only one more issue, if not this is the last one, until June, where we're going to have the edgier Superman again and the chappy Batman. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But this was an excellent story arc for now. Let's see where things go in June. And with that, that's it for this review, guys. As always, don't forget to check out comic-related, Comic Frontline, Zone 4 Podcast, Frontline Gaming Zone. Together, we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Feel free to comment below, likes, dislikes, whether you agree or disagree with myself or Michael. And we will definitely answer your guys' comments in the comments below. And until next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys in the next review.
Later, everybody.